Our mod pack might just have some of the craziest food recipes by now, because for 2 days, or for 12 hours total, I was adding all of these recipes with all of their custom uses to our mod pack. Now if you don't know, our mod pack is kind of made for psychopaths. It's meant to be played on a server, because the time is linked with the IRL time. So when it's daytime IRL, it's daytime in-game. And when it's nighttime IRL, it's gonna be nighttime in-game. But we go a step beyond that, because we also sync up our months. So when it's going to be winter IRL, for 3 months it's going to be winter in-game. And our entire food system is chained to that, alongside nutrients, spice of life, and just overall nerfing most foods because you're meant to trade with other players. Our biomes are also larger, and extreme temperature biomes are harder to find, and what that ends up doing is even more food scarcity. Why, you might be asking? It's because our crops are also locked not only to seasons, but biomes as well. But we don't just want to make it all bad for the players, obviously. We want it to be an expert mod pack that's also fun, of course. So we're trying to make it rather easy to spec into a type of food. Well, with some it might be easier, and with some it might be a bit harder. For example, milkshakes are pretty easy, but there's not a lot of juices right here. Actually, I'm lying. There is a lot of juices, but they don't give you food, most of them. Or it would be very easy to spec into ice cream, or cakes, or pies. And the reason why you would want to spec into them is because they are very similar in terms of crafting recipes. Let's say the pies all require some sort of filling and then a pie crust which is made in one particular way. But they are different foods, which means that they count as different foods for spice of life as well, of course, making it very much easier for the average player to not have to die of starvation, of course. Furthermore, we are also planning to add some custom food rarities because we do have food quality as a mod installed. So we could actually make it so that, let's say the pies, the very rare ones, give you a speed buff, while the cakes, those, let's say, give you absorption. However, that's not where we start. We have some very intricate crafting recipes over here. Even the simpler ones, like just making chocolate, which instead of just requiring cocoa beans, you actually need to make a bar of chocolate, which is a demolded solid chocolate mold, which is a frozen non-solid chocolate mold, which is either made with cocoa butter and cocoa powder with more sugar, or with butter, cocoa powder and sugar. Now how do you get these, you might be asking? Well, powder you get from getting cocoa solids and butter you get from dried cocoa beans, which you get from cooking cocoa beans for 10 minutes. Cooking is locked behind having a base, basically, and it's also why we recommend having a syrup. But if you look at this recipe, this gives you 1 cocoa butter and 2 solids. And if you look at the recipe here, this top one is basically a way to use your cocoa butter and not just leave it in storage or throw it out. However, if you want to spec into that, since you're only getting 1 cocoa butter, while you get 2 cocoa powder, you might want to look into trading with someone else, who might be getting cocoa butter and not using it, which should encourage some nice trading. But if you want to talk about crazy, let's look at the chocolate cake recipe. Of course you need bars of chocolate, and we already know how to make that, but you also need a cake base on top of that, which is a demolded cooked cake, which then needs cake batter, which is a mix of all of these different ingredients. Salt, egg, sugars, wheat, and a bit of milk. And all of our recipes we try to be as accurate as we can, although some of them might be a bit unhinged, like the convex curving of dough to create dough rings, but I absolutely love it and we are definitely keeping that. And yes, cheesecake is a pie. Just make sure you don't ask how the sausage is made. It is liquid minced meat that you mix from any meat, I warned you.